Well, welcome to the channel, and today we'll be looking at OBS Studio. OBS Studio is a open source software. It is a live mixing for the video, so we can just type OBS Studio in Google and you see obsproject.com. You can click on the link and you can download it for your Windows or Mac or Linux version. I suggest you can download a zip version if you do not have a faster internet and unzip the file and install it. Once you install it, it is a very small installer and you will see a small logo like a fan, and we'll see how to work on OBS Studio for screen sharing, especially when you're going to record or do live video streaming into Facebook or YouTube. So here I've already preset certain pictures for mine. First we can see in the profile, you can click a new profile, and a new profile completely opens up a new thing. Say like I go click new profile, I'm giving name sample and I'm opening the scene sample. Oh, this is a and you can create new scenes. I'll be explaining why a scene later. And for now I have the profile Kalyan, and then you can see the introduction scenes and all here. You can create plus and then create scene, final or climax. So a scene is nothing but you are presetting the window condition so that you can instantly send it to a live streaming. So now you can see I have three scenes. The first thing is an intro scene. In intro scene, I do not have anything as a source for intro scene. Now what I can do is I have to add a source. First I want to add an image. Plus I am going to click on an image. So I have to browse for an image. I'm browsing for a small logo. Yeah, I browse for a logo. And okay, you can also drag and drop your media here. Unfortunately, this OBS Studio does not support GIFs. It supports only pictures and media files. If you want to bring in a GIF, people usually use FFmpeg media coders. So you can freely move it around your screen. There is no grid, and you can resize the logo wherever you want to place it. If you hold Shift and then try to move, you can resize without scale. But if you are not holding Shift, whatever you do, whatever you scale will be, whatever you resize will be to the scale. Now we have added an image. I'm keeping the image in the center, a bit smaller image I'm keeping in the center, and I also want to add some video as a title. So I click plus, and as you see there are a lot of inputs. Audio input capture, audio output capture, browser, color source, display capture, game captures, everything. Now let me explain everything in short. Audio input capture is whatever the audio I'm giving as an input to my computer, which means through my mic or any other input source, that would be captured, and that can be sent into the live. Audio output capture is defaultly in audio mixture, but however, if you have multiple audios coming from your computer, for now if you click on the sound speakers button and if you open volume mixture, you see what all the applications are giving you the audio. So you can select a particular application that gives you an audio in the volume mixture and send only that audio to your live stream. And then there is a browser. Browser doesn't actually show a browser window like many people think. It is actually you click on a browser window, you give a URL here, click OK, and you have to type in the URL. For example, I typed google.com, and I'm giving you a width. 800 by 600 is the width, and I'm clicking OK. Now you see a google.com here on your screen. So you can always keep it here. You can make it smaller, you can keep it here, so that google.com, whatever happens in google.com will be shown here. Let it be a static site or a dynamic site, you can actually display your profiles or any web pages through this. And before me saying these other options, I'll show you what does a studio mode means. If your app comes like this with a single window, please click on a studio mode, which means you have two windows, one window to preview what you're going to do and the other window to show the actual program, how people are going to view it. And you have start streaming and start recording. Start streaming is when you want to stream the program content into any live streaming channels like YouTube or Vimeo or FB Live. You can use start streaming. And recording is when you just want to save the recording as a MP4 or MKV file. So for now we'll try to show record it and show it, and I'll also show you how do you stream. Now when you click transition, you see the screen, whatever is here is going into the program screen and it will be displayed. For example, you want to do certain changes, I put it here, I made it little smaller, or I want to put two windows. I put one Google window here, another Google window here, and then if I press transition, you see it being live into the program. So this is a preview window, is basically a window where you mix match the things, and then when you click the transition button, it automatically appears into the live without any disturbance. So the live just keeps continuing in the stream. So whatever you work in another background window. That is the advantages of live mixture. Every live mixture more or less works in this concept. So now I'm removing one Google window here, and I'm also removing this, and I'm adding another source, color source. Color source is just a plain color. For example, I want to add a blue color. Select a color. I selected a blue color, and I've given a resolution of a blue color, which I suggest you don't need to give because it's just a plain rectangle that it's going to come, which you can resize later using your shift. You can resize it like this. Look, I just made a small background, and then you click on transition. Till now, the Google menu, even though you removed it from here, would be showing it. Even though you remove it from the sources, would be displaying it there in the program, and as soon as you click transition, it goes there. Now we also have display capture, game capture. Display capture is whatever is displayed on this menu will be captured. Now I'm seeing this program, and this program would be captured. Game capture is this whole program minimizes and captures the game that you are playing. Essentially, that would be having a more FPS rate, and games usually need more of your RAM or your computer processor. So your OBS Studio will only take the remaining processor and act in a very minimalistic with very minimalistic resource. And then you have an image which I already showed. You can also put an image slideshow. You can select few images here. You can you have certain features which you can transition, and then milliseconds between each thing, transition speed, how much time should they be looping or they not be looping. All these things you can set, and you can add images into this box. Add files. I'll be adding like 3 images. I have 3 images. I added them, and milliseconds is I'm just keeping 400 milliseconds I'm keeping. Transition is 500 milliseconds I'm keeping. 1000 and 300 I'll keep. And it's automatic, so as soon as you send it to transition, it starts playing. And ratio you give automatic, and you can go for settings and click OK. Now what happens, you resize this menu here, you kept here a small menu, and then transition. Now you see it in the live being changed. If you want to remove that particular thing, you don't need to delete it. Instead, you can see visibility button here for any layer that you choose, for any source. You just disable this and then press transition, it will be immediately disabled. If you have a need to pop it up again, you just have to click on that and then visibility and then transition. See? Or if you think, okay, it doesn't need to be addressed anytime, then you can remove it by pressing this button. minus is removing it. You can also press delete. Yes, it's gone. And this is a lock button. Once you lock the sources, you cannot even able to select. Now why is this option? Because if you have many layers, the selection process is not very smooth. And understanding this technicalities, OBS Studio has given us the lock option. You can't even select a layer or see a layer. You can see a layer, but you cannot select a layer. So we have, what else we have got? We have media source, which is a video. Let me select this video. We have a media source. Okay, and I'm browsing for a video. I'm just going to play a small video here, and I'm looping it. And it is better to use your hardware decoding if you have a graphics card. And the speed also, you can set a range. I kept it 100% speed. And now as soon as I press transition, I can see a window here and the video being played. I'm making it smaller, pressing transition, and you see it's going into the live. What if I want two videos? Control C, Control V, simple copy paste, drag and drop a video here, and whenever you wanted it to go to live, press transition. You see it in live, and you see two media sources. I can disable one media source and send it to live. Two media sources. Okay, I'm removing the media source. Color source I'm removing. Now I'm showing you a sample. This media source, I made it bigger here. Now see, there's a logo. I want to play a video and then bring back the logo. What I do is I disable the logo and I enable the media source. I press transition, and you see here the video is getting played. Now I'm making it more bigger. Transition. And then when I think the video is over, I'll open the video image source and I'll close this, and whenever the video finishes, I'll just press transition again. So that's how, that is a very basic tutorial of how do you do the scene. But suddenly sometimes when you may encounter a situation where you wanted to have a heavy loaded screen and it has to suddenly come into display. That is the reason the scenes are here. Now the intro scene is very simple. Now I want to play, I have another scene here which has a lot of options, because when a lot of events are happening, especially when you plan it for an event or when you plan it for a bigger tutorial or anything, you may have many pop-ups coming up. You have to keep some screen constant and many things happening around. So all the things you would be loading here. Now for example, a lot of people wanted to live stream a screen share. Screen sharing is easy. You click plus and you click on display capture and you capture whatever is present there. You can also add text. You can capture a video from a video device. This is really helpful for the people who are doing a live shows. When there's a show happening or a concert happening or a public meeting happening, they want to make it a live with additional extravaganza features. They go for a video capture, and the video would be coming from a camera, either through wireless streaming or through wired. It would be coming, and then OBS can also capture a media coming from a raw media coming from the device. Now I'm only connected to my HP webcam, so it shows. When I'm coming, you can configure videos. You can configure the encoders when the video is coming through to your computer. You can also capture that and play it there. And then the other options is Windows capture. This is what we'll be using when there's a meeting happening, say in a Zoom or MS Teams or any conference happening, and then you wanted that conference to go live with all your additional features. You take a window capture. Now I'm capturing. I have an MS Team meeting going on. If you see here, with two of the people here, with my two apprentice people or my friends being here in the live, I have a meeting going on. What I do is I maximize this window first, and then I go back to my source and I'm selecting Windows capture. Say I'm renaming it to Teams. live. Click OK, and then here the list automatically comes. It detects what are the windows that is being opened, and I'm selecting the window that is opened. Capture method is automatic. That is the best suitable method, and do not work on any other thing. Click tick for client area always, and then click OK. Now I see, as soon as I see that that screen is coming here, make sure that you're not minimizing whatever the window you're capturing. That is, when you do that, your screen goes blank. That is one thing a lot of amateurs or beginner people face. Now if I see there are a lot of titles around it, I'm going to pin 2 people here in MS Teams. Pin. I'm pinning 2 people, and I also have a menu that opened here. Generally, your cloud-based applications would be a bit slower when you're using OBS. Okay, now I can modify the screen. I made it bigger, and these arrow marks keeps it in layers backside, and this is in the front layer, so I'm pushing it behind, way behind. See, now it's a behind layer. On the top layer, I'm going to add a bar like this. That's up to me to add a bar, and I resize it. And the bottom also, I wanted some bar to be added, so I already have a loaded bottom bar, so I enabled a loaded bottom bar. Note this. And then I'm not yet sent into the live. Now what I'm doing is, in the intro scene, I am transition. Now if you see here, a video is being, I will start recording also, and then I can show you the recording once it's done. So start recording. Now it's been recorded, and transition. This is the volume of your mic. If you want to be silent and you don't want your voice to go into live, you can mute your mic completely or reduce the volume of it. And these are the sources from where your volume is coming. And as soon as this scene is finished, now I want to go to the scene and suddenly shift it to this menu. So I'm clicking transition, and suddenly this menu has popped up. We see 2 people speaking here. Either I think they're debating or whatever. I see 2 people pinned up in MS Teams, and thus it's visible here. And I'm going to my scene, and if I see that there is some meeting going on, people are talking in the meeting, and I've added a top and bottom bar. Now suddenly if I want to add up a speaker notes, I have already kept my speaker notes here. If I want to add a picture, I have a small picture. I will make everything ready here. If they're talking about one person, I just made everything ready here, and see, I just kept everything here. And then whenever I felt like, okay, this is going to send in live, whenever they start talking about this person, I just click transition, and that appears. You can do a quick transition effects here. I gave 700 ms transition. So now you see, like, and if you want to remove them, you just remove it, hide it here, click on the source, and then it is selected here, hide it, and then click transition. It's hidden. Now you see them talking and interacting. So now if you even want to add a small media bar here, we open a media resource. You can see a media resource here. I want to put the media resource at the bottom, the same trailer. Yeah, I want to put it here like a small advertisement, and see, it just goes for the transition. But it's a tricky part with media resource. It won't be seen, but when you click on it and click transition, it will be immediately shown. So you should be really quick in adjusting the size. So I can move it here, and then I can click transition, so you see the video moving there. I can also remove the video completely. and I click transition, the video is gone from there. So now they're talking, suddenly I wanted to display some sponsors menu. So as you see, those two are talking, and then I got in the sponsors menu, and I wanted to keep it somewhere here. I really quickly kept it here according to what sizes I've got, and I click transition, and you see it's appeared there. And that's all happening in the live. So that's one advantage with OBS Studio, and that is how we do it. And for the beginners, all I say is, you bring in the window capture. I'm giving you a recap. Bring in, click plus, Windows capture, select the meeting which is already started, and then you adjust your frames, and then you bring in the top bar, bottom bar, and overlay it on the top, and then keep your about speakers notes or sponsor notes, advertisements, everything aligned here, so that whenever you wanted it, you can just enable it in the view, and then see a nice place where you can keep it really quick. It just takes 2 seconds, and then click transition, it appears, and then disable it, and then click transition, it disappears. So this is how you keep showing a live advertisements or live notes when a meeting is going on or when conference is happening. And now let's come back to recording features. Now I'm stopping the recording. I click stop the recording. Yes. Now how do we say streaming? Now you click start streaming. It says key is missing because you did not install the key. So how do you install the key? You go to view. Sorry. You go to file. You go to settings, or you can click settings here. As soon as you click settings, you see settings being open. In general, there are a lot of settings which are defaultly good. You don't need to edit or do anything with them. Snap sensitivity you can reduce, because if you feel the snapping is not very proper here, you need very sensitive snapping. 10 grid can be made into 4 grid, or you can make it 50, because if you don't have so much snapping, you just have this side and that side, you can just put 50 as your grid. And streaming, you go to the stream and you have a lot of accounts: Twitch, YouTube, Facebook Live, Restream, and Twitter or Periscope, Show All. These are all the streaming accounts this can actually stream into. You have a lot of streaming sites that OBS can be streamed into. But now we'll be talking only about YouTube. Go for YouTube. Yeah, YouTube or YouTube Gaming. And then server, you select a primary server. It is not from a backup server. And the stream key, where do you find a stream key? You're getting a stream key from YouTube. You go to your channel. For example, I'll show you. I'm going to my YouTube channel here. Yeah, I have my YouTube channel. See, when you go to your YouTube channel, click on the studio button in your channel. And then you see a live stream option there. In your studio channel, there is a button called live. When you press the live, at the bottom, not this, yes, this. You click create, and you can select live, or you can go to videos. Okay, my net seems to be a bit slow. Okay, I'll show you how do you get that key. But you paste the streaming key here. Whenever you create a live, you schedule a live, YouTube generates a unique streaming key. And that key, if you paste it here, which means that key is nothing but whatever the source you're pasting in the key, that source has a direct access to send a videos to the stream. And whatever the source is sending using that key, The YouTube takes the video from that source and displays. Now, there are a lot of questions that comes, say, like, what if I use same streaming key in two different computers? It would not be possible. First comes first. Whichever computer started streaming to that key is first. With the same key, I think you can stop your first computer and you can switch it to the second computer. But it is only one streaming key per one program. And you have an option of output where your bit rates would be asked, your audio bit rates, and where is the recording to be saved. And audio settings, you can select your default speakers, or if you have more than one speaker or more than one output unit, you can select. Generally it is just a speaker audio that would be coming out. You can deal with Windows mixture, which audio to be shown. Video, your canvas resolution. If you're doing some screen share, you can put a Windows 10 Windows resolution of 1368 into 768 or 1280 into 760 for 720p. It depends on you. And hotkeys, if you're really fast, if you want fast fingers and do so much of work and be an expert, you can assign hotkeys. Advanced settings are in the renderer that you wanted to use. You always choose DirectX 3D11 or 12x, and this is not for the beginners, but if you're really good with these technicalities, you don't even need me to explain. You could automatically set these things. And the file formatting, you can just leave it like that. And I think if my net is loaded, I would be showing, yeah, you can click live here. Images are not still loading. So I just click get started, and my live is not yet enabled. That's why I'm searching an internet picture to show where the key is. Yeah, you can go down and in the menu, yeah, if you go down to your live menu, in the bottom under the server URL, you find a live streaming key. Some softwares other than OBS Studio may also ask you the server URL. As you see, it's like RTMP, which is a streaming server, x.rtmp.youtube.com/live/ the name of the live that you give. And this particular encoder setup will have a special streaming key which you would be using. So that's all the basics. If you just wanted, again, I would brush up. You create one or two scenes. Scenes can come up with different layouts preset if you know the program earlier. And then once if you want to screen share or share a conference, you just click plus, go to Windows Capture, keep your windows here, resize it using shift or without shift, resize it, and then keep it here. Whatever pictures or advertisements or anything that you want to load it up and keep ready. Click transition, it goes into the live. And make sure you, as soon as you want to go live, just few seconds before you click on start streaming, and you can put up a stream in settings. You can add your stream. You can add your stream key here, and then click OK or apply. And then as soon as you start streaming, it will take 3-4 seconds to get connected to the server, streaming server, and then you would have some newer versions will give a red button here. You see the live on the bottom, it enables as red, and it will show you the number. You can also record when you're sharing a live also, but you need to have at least i5 with a dedicated graphics card to do both the things. And this is a FPS rate of your streaming. 30 is decent FPS. And this is usage of your computer. Don't let your CPU usage run more than 17 when it is screen sharing. When it is in games, try to keep it less than 30. Anyways, that's it. If you wanted to go for the detail, you can do scripts. You can put a timer, automatically timer. You can put captions. Captions are at present experimental. You can select an audio source, enable it, and you can put captions so that you see captions here. but that is just an experimental, and I do not know which server it uses to for TTK. Voice to, what is this, text, speech to text servers. I don't know what server this uses, but this is just an experimental feature. And you can save the recording by going to the profile and exporting the file, because that file, you export the file and you select a folder, and that file remembers from where did it pull all the video captures and those images and media from the local disk. So that is one thing that remembers the layout and all the setup, that settings you and configurations you have done. So that's about OBS Studio, and thank you for watching. Thanks a lot.
or reduce the volume.